So Black Myth Wukong is stacked with a bunch of mysteries and secrets. In today's video, I'm going to teach you a bunch of things that's going to change the way you play this game forever. Let's get straight into it. So first things first, we're going to talk about one of my favorite items, the Wind Tamer. Now, I thought this was just an item that you use to knock like sandstorms and stuff like that out of the arena, but that's not the only use case. This is actually supposed to teach you that you can have a knockback effect. So you can use this on bosses, and usually you can knock them out of going into certain phases. For example, in chapter 4, you're going to find this Chen Loong. It's a dragon type enemy. When you see it, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. He's a straight savage and he's extremely aggressive. When he charges up to a certain point, he's basically going to turn into a flying enemy and he's going to wreak havoc. In order to stop him from going into that form, you can get close enough to him so you can pretend like this is that special enemy I'm talking about. I don't want to ruin it for you, so yeah. But let's just say that this is Mr. Chen Loong. You're going to see him. He's going to be charging up, about to destroy your life, and instantly you can just knock him out of it. It's pretty insane. Now, if he transforms, you're going to have to deal with that. But if you get him before the transformation, you're good to go. Another thing, let's go ahead and get you 3 Curios spots. So as you can see, I got Tiger Tally, the Golden Carp, and the Gold Floor Hairpin. These 2 things are going to get me a bunch of will and a bunch of item drops. So that's why I have them right now. And I'm basically farming for will so I can unlock all the different armor sets for myself. But you want to get 3 slots. You can mix and match these however you want to basically break the game if you want to. I know there are probably different ways to have infinite mana or a bunch of stamina. And I actually did dabble a little bit in the infinite stamina thing, and it's kind of cool. However, you need to unlock this right here, Daoist Scroll. Daoist Scroll is going to be a secret village or a realm that you're going to unlock when you find 3 NPCs in the game. The puzzle pieces to this realm are going to be the Shen Monkey in the chapter 1 zone. Second is going to be Zoo Dog in chapter 2. And finally is going to be the Chen Loong in chapter 3. Once you get all 3 of these guys, you're going to unlock this special zone, and you're basically halfway there. Now, if you want to get to this place and figure everything else out on your own, then go ahead and skip to the next part of the guide. But if you want me to go ahead and teach you exactly how you want to get the Curios slot, then stay locked in right there. So as you can see, all my NPCs are here in this zone. I got Zoo Dog right there. I got the Shen Monkey over here. And I got Chen Loong back there. He turns into a gardener. So whenever you find seeds, you can give it to him and he'll basically harvest it for you. Now over here to the left is my favorite NPC who has an insane ability. This guy is the armorer. He's going to be able to upgrade all of your armor in the game. It's kind of broken. When I found this guy, I couldn't believe it. But if you have a favorite armor set that you want to go back to, you can basically upgrade them to be whatever you want them to be. You do have to have the materials and the mats for it, however. So you go down here to upgrade armor. And let's say you really was in love with the Pilgrim's headband. You can upgrade this all the way up to, I don't know, maybe even mythical. I'm not going to waste my stuff right now because I want to try to see if I have other use cases for my silk and my will. But eventually I'm going to unlock all of these to see exactly what they do. But I think it's kind of obvious. If you have the Centipede's hat here and it's a legendary, and if I get another celestial ribbon and it's allowing me to upgrade this only once, then I think it goes to mythical at that point, which would make sense because I guess it's all aesthetics and it's basically teaching you you're allowed to have any build or basically build your character in any way that you see fit, which I respect that and I like that a lot. But the real secret for this guy is going to be this right here, the challenge. If you challenge this man, be ready for the fight of your life. I'm not going to show you the fight. You got to experience that on your own. but challenge him and good luck. If you beat him, you're going to be able to get him as a transformation for 1, and 2, he's going to give you the 3rd Curios spot after you talk to him again. So there you go. Now I already mentioned him a little bit, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you now. This guy up here, this is the gardener. All right, so Mr. Loong here, you talk to him after you give him a bunch of seeds, and you'll be able to harvest all the different seeds that you've collected. It's awesome. This happens over a certain amount of time in game. I haven't logged out of the game yet today, so maybe I'm gonna log out one time and then come back in an hour later to see if these recharge timers are actually up or not, or if they only charge while you're in game. I haven't tested that yet, but I will in the future. Anyways, if you want to get a whole bunch of ingredients, this is your man. You don't have to spend any money or go out in the world and farm them. You get them from him. Now, another thing. Let's talk about the Shen Monkey, because this guy has a little bit of a pretty cool thing that he can do. He can upgrade your old gourd. Now, why would you want to do this is my main question to myself, but hear me out. Every time you upgrade the old gourd, you increase its uses. So right now you're only getting 4 sips out of it. When you upgrade it, you'll get 5 sips. And then if you continue down the upgrade path, you're going to get all the way up to about 8 sips, which is kind of insane. That's a lot of uses out of it. So you turn your common old gourd into something absolutely epic. It doesn't have the special abilities on it like some of the other gourds out in the game. Personally, to me, I didn't really understand why this was in the game, so I never upgraded it, because I always had a really nice gourd. For example, this legendary one right here, the Shang River Goddess gourd. This is just my go-to. It has 8 sips on it. It's giving me burn resistance. It works very well in the last stage, or the chapter 5. So it's everything that I need. And I don't know, it's kind of interesting. But the old gourd, if you get it all the way up to 8 sips and you use the drink and the soaks, then you can make it into something amazing. Now you do want to unlock 2 soak slots. And in order to do that, you would need to get the lamb brew drink from chapter 2, bring that over to him, and you're gonna need to buy some worms from him. Now I looked high and low all over the game on how to farm these Awaken wine worms. You can't find it. He unlocks them over time, or you can find them in like these special cases that glow gold. If you find one of these containers that are glowing gold, slap it and you'll get yourself a wine worm. But the other ones, he actually sells it. Every time you beat a chapter, come back and see him and he's selling another one. So when I beat chapter 2, he had this one. When I beat chapter 3, he had the second one. And when I just recently beat chapter 4 and headed into chapter 5, he had this last one right here. So I'm very curious, is that the only way to get them, or are there a whole bunch of these scattered all over the world? I'm still on the lookout for them. I've only been able to find 2 out in the world by myself, maybe 3. I can't really remember off the top of my head. But yeah, I had to buy the other ones so I could get my lamb brew drink upgraded. Moving on. This guy right here, he deserves his own guide, so I'm not going to talk too much about him in this one, but this is going to be the most important NPC in the game. He's going to give you a bunch of formulas. He's going to give you some amazing celestial medicines, which means that you can upgrade yourself, maximum health, mana, stamina. This guy is amazing. You definitely need to come and see him from time to time. And every now and again, you can actually come to him and ask for a special request, and he'll give you special medicines that he cooked up. All right, we're not done yet. If you haven't already seen the video, you definitely need to peep it. The gourd-eyed Daoist is the most broken thing in the game. Now, a lot of people were asking me in my last video, okay, so should you upgrade this? The answer is yes. You should actually go and upgrade any spirit that you're really into. Figure out which spirit works best for you and your playstyle and kind of stick with it. Mix and match them for different bosses. and figure out which one you really love the most. For me, once I maxed out Daoist, I actually never used anybody else in the entire game. As you can see, nobody else is upgraded, unfortunately. Only the Daoist. Now, the reason why the Daoist is maxed out is because he raises your attack power. In this game, there are 1,000,001 things that raise your attack power. The very first relic is going to raise your damage. You get considerably increased to crit hit damage if you get keen sight on the first relic. On the second relic, you get a temporary increase to attack after you perfect dodge. On the third relic, you can actually get the lingering aroma. I have hold breath right now because I needed more dodge invincibility frames when I was fighting chapter 4 boss, because if you fought him, you know that dude is a problem. But anyway, eventually I'm going to switch over to the lingering aroma, because then I'm just going to get even more damage bonuses on top of everything else that I'm using in the game. And it's crazy. Now in chapter 4, you get the best thing I've ever found in the game so far. It is crowd control, spread the word. It immobilizes absolutely every enemy around the target, and it comes in handy. If you got a whole bunch of enemies about to bum rush your life, then this is your fastest and easiest way to get out of it. It's a must-have in this game. Like, the other ones are not as appealing as this one. For example, the first one is the refreshing taste. After consuming medicine, it increases crit hit chance of the next attack. Okay. Which, that's more DPS. There's more DPS, so that's something to consider. And the second one is Tongue of the Connoisseur, which is each equipped soak slightly increases the health recovery of the drink. Alright. I mean, they're alright, but they're nothing compared to spread the word. Now let's talk about a transformation. This transformation is just something that's going to become your best friend when you finally get it. It's going to take you a while to get here. It's all the way out there in chapter 4. And I have a couple questions for myself. I actually fought every single Loong on the way to this boss fight, so I don't exactly know when he unlocked for me, if he's going to be there, if you just walk straight there. What I do know, if you come over here to travel and you drop down to the Yellow Wind Ridge, inside of the Yellow Wind Ridge, there is going to be a zone that has a meditation spot, and near that meditation spot is going to be an NPC, the old man who always talks to you and tells you stories. The meditation spot that you need to go to is really close by. It's in the last zone just before you fight the main boss, actually. I'll take you over there now. Once you reach the cellar, which is in the Yellow Ridge, go down to here, go over to the cellar. There's two things here. To the left is going to be a very important boss fight, and to the right is going to be a mural on the wall. And when you get here the first time, you're actually going to see a meditation spot and the NPC. Now, when you talk to this man, he's going to tell you a story about the Loongs. When you hear the story about the Loongs, every time you get close to one of them, it's going to make a voice or a narration voice, and it's going to start telling the story again. So that is your hint that one of the Loongs that you need to defeat is in the area. Go seek him out. I went ahead and I fought the Black Loong that was here in the Desert Realm. I fought the first Loong that was in chapter 1. I fought the Electricity Loong that was in chapter 3. And then I found him in chapter 4 and I beat him. So this thing is pretty nasty. It's one of the best summons in the game. He completely wrecks. He lasts for an extreme amount of time, and I don't have any upgrades whatsoever in summoning. If you're struggling against him, don't worry. I got a full-blown guide on how to take this guy out coming real soon. And yes, the Daoist ability does work on him. A lot of people were asking me like, hey, I tried to fight him and I couldn't. I got you. The guide is coming. Make sure you're not neglecting all of the different staffs in the game. You're going to receive so many different staffs from so many different enemies, and fighting certain enemies is going to lead you to the next amazing staff. When you start off in the game, you're going to have the willow wood staff. Don't neglect your staff. Make sure you're upgrading it over time, and it's not just staffs. You can also have spears in this game. There's certain enemies and NPCs that you're going to find out in your journey, and then they're going to give you what looks like a spear or an item. You can actually take that item over to crafting, go to craft weapons, and then it'll show you exactly what that item will become. For example, I found a venomous hair from a specific enemy in the game, and then I was able to make the chitin staff. In the third realm, I found a guy who was inside of a jail cell. I helped him out of the jail cell in the pagoda realm, and he gave me this, the Shubai spearhead. I also had to take out his 3 captains. Once you have taken out all of his captains and you go back and you speak with him, he should give you the Shubai spearhead, and then you'll be able to make this amazing spear. Now, I don't know yet if you're able to upgrade these at the armorer, because then at that point he just becomes a blacksmith. But when I figure that out, I'll let you know in a future video. Last but not least, I want to talk about this. All right, let's talk about spirits. So I already talked about Daoist and how he's amazing and you definitely need to use him whenever you want to get a bunch of DPS out. But these other spirits are also amazing as well. You should definitely switch them out from time to time to figure out which one of these spirits is your favorite. Each spirit is going to have a different requirement in order to be upgraded. At first, they all need will. And then once you go beyond the first and second upgrade, they're going to start asking for more sophisticated items. So you have to go out into the world and make sure you gather a bunch of these items, bring it back, and upgrade them. You can upgrade their key cost, reducing it to make it easier to use the skill. You can upgrade the duration that they last, the damage that they do, a lot of amazing things. So it's a great idea to figure out which one of these is your favorite and use them. Unfortunately for me, I haven't really experimented with these guys as much as I want to. I'm going to, but for right now, Daoist is just the S of S classes in the game right now for me. Let me know which one of these spirits is your favorite. But that's going to be all for today's video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, go ahead and smash that like button and sub to the channel so that you don't miss out on any more tips, tricks, guides, and a hell of a lot more for Black Myth Wukong. This is your boy MMCSHD. Have a nice day, guys. For now, though, I'm out of here.